Hello and welcome to the Foot Geeks. Today with me again is Dr. Kody from Baseline Chiropractic, and I'm CJ. Now, what are we going to be talking about today?
I think today we're going to talk about my bread and butter, foot adjustments and strengthening of the foot for what uses it has and what it can do for the body.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of foot adjustments and strengthening, how do you go about helping your patients when they do come to your office?
Oftentimes, foot adjustments, like when I look at it, it's kind of a mixed bag. So with my initial assessment, I'll look at usually what's going on and kind of check out what is going on for the whole body. Or if they're having low back pain, then I check out low back, but usually I check out the full chain into the foot. Mm-hmm. Because oftentimes we have to find the cause of the problem, not just what's hurting. Sometimes the hurting spot is not where it comes from. It's just what's adapting to the pain or what has compensated for the problem that you've had in the past. So oftentimes, like I've seen some low back issues with foot problems. And so the foot problems is something that's minor. They don't really consider it being a problem. Mm-hmm. So when I probe further into it, I actually find out that, their foot is overpronating, their foot is not moving properly, therefore up the chain, a lot of things are tightening, they're changing, and then they get some back pain as well.
And do you find that oftentimes things are starting in the feet and then moving upwards, or can it also happen that stuff happens in the back or maybe the hip and it moves downwards?
I think both, but I think the feet are the base of the body, so I think that the feet can cause a lot of problems that shift all the way up. So if your foundation is off, you're going to have some problems. So I think that a lot of it does come from the feet and then move up. It's hard to find which one came first, chicken and the egg, but I actually do think that the feet are probably where things happen. You kick something, you jam your foot, jam your toe, something like that. You sprain your ankle. I've seen those facilitate stuff into the body later on too, as well.
Okay. And what kind of exercises do you recommend to your patients to take home?
Depending on the case. Short foot is one of my favorites that I work with to try to balance the foot. So using the three arches properly by putting the first toe down, the fifth toe down, and the heel down on the floor, and then trying to use a cue to say lift this arch up.
Yeah.
With your own muscles and stuff like that. And so starting from a sitting position and then gravitating into standing with this held, walking with this held. Those are some ones that I work with. Sometimes I incorporate that into other exercises. Mm-hmm. So a short foot, but including, say, squats or including what I call hanging squats or something like that to really generate strength on that one-sided chain. Yeah. And stuff like that. Another one that I sometimes use is some tensor bands to try to work with kind of stretching and moving and stuff like that. That's something that we use. Last one is probably less used, but sometimes I use more for balance and components of that. It's called a Veely's lean, and so it's kind of like a ski jumper.
Okay.
So it's putting those three bases of contact again, and you're trying to lean forward as far as you can without falling forward. So you're trying to do this. So that puts a lot of tension all the way through the bottom of the foot and focuses the three areas to allow for that lean.
So basically you're engaging the gastrocnemius, the calf muscle, and obviously the fascia tissue and whatever else is there. But at the same time, you're also looking to flex that arch and help keep it up in that position while you're doing that forward lean. Okay.
And allow for dorsiflexion of the ankle joint, which is essential for a lot of our motions.
Yeah.
So it's allowing that push that's pushing and generating extra dorsiflexion for you while stimulating the rest of the components of your foot. That's kind of what I do.
Awesome.
And so adjusting with the foot can oftentimes accompany with, what chiropractors is known for, the cracking and everything like that. However, it doesn't have to, okay? Like some people really don't like being adjusted in a way that they hear noises or anything like that. Sometimes they feel that it's too aggressive or something like that. So I use another tool that's called a speeder board, and it allows me to access all those different types of joints. There are 33 joints in this one foot, so trying to manipulate each one and get everything is challenging at times. So sometimes using these boards allows for something like the heel.
Yeah.
Right. So we can open it up, and then we can drop down, and it allows for a gravity push through that joint while I stimulate into that area, and so it causes some changes into the joint planes, and moving those. And it's important because without proper movement, you can't train stability. Stability comes with proper motion, or else you can't really generate the strength that you need to stabilize your foot. Oftentimes that's kind of what we see, that people can do exercises all they want, but if things aren't moving properly, you can't do anything with it.
But you want to, so basically the idea in your case, you know, from what I've learned about you is that you like to, you know, obviously adjust in the office, but then at the same time teach training exercises that will help keep your joint mobile and allow it to continue moving, which is why, you know, that dorsiflexion aspect of, you know, those different stretches is huge, because if you can improve the flexibility through the ankle complex, you know, your foot will be able to move more freely.
Yeah, my philosophy on it is, as a chiropractor, what I want to do is get people to be moving better, right? And so my goal is to allow people to be empowered, to know the tools that they can fix themselves. That's where I try to work with, so that's why I show a lot of exercise. I work with a lot of these conditions, hoping that in the future you don't have to deal with this problem anymore, or if you do, you know how to manage it, and I'm not the one providing everything that I need to give you.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the concerns oftentimes is, you know, overstretching ligaments is probably one of the concerns I think that I've heard, you know, some of my clients bring up. Is it, you know, how do you respond to those kinds of questions?
I think there's a proper time for stretching, and there's a proper time for strengthening. With certain conditions, ankle sprains and stuff like that, you don't want to be stretching that. That stuff's already overstretched. So what we want to do is allow it to train back to its original kind of consistency, but also retraining why you got hurt, right? So ankle sprains, for example, when you get injured, you heal in 6 weeks, right? 3 to 6 weeks. But why do you always get ankle sprains again? The aspect is because you've never retrained the neurology that you lack after you've injured it. So there's something called proprioception, which is your joint in space. If you've never retrained that, your foot doesn't know where it is in space. So therefore, when you take that weird step, you always end up spraining it again. You're like, why is this always happening to me? And you're always kind of struggling with it. So something simple is even balance training after you've fully healed. So one of the things with all these conditions is, my kind of step-by-step is, you have to retrain passive range of motion for all conditions. So pain-free passive range of motion is number one. Then after that is strength training, stability. And then third is balance. That's how you get that full package so that you can fully heal from these conditions.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kody Au. Please go check him out. We'll have a link to his website in the section below the video. Do like us on Facebook or obviously YouTube and our other social media channels. And if you have any questions, post them below. And I'm sure Dr. Kody Au and myself would be more than happy to respond.